I'm sitting here at the sink because I had a stool here, got some surface, and I was thinking this morning, early this morning, like 2 a.m. this morning, about something that I brought up, I think probably in one of my first 3 episodes, if not the first, and that is a flight of fancy that we often discuss in the comments and on Discord, and that is the addition of a psalter in the prayer book. Now, there are 2 examples of this thus far that almost kind of get there. Now, the first is the upcoming edition of the Anthologian that they're going to stick the psalter in, so it's going to double in size. It's going to be like super thick, and that's cool. That's great. They're also crowdfunding a traditional English version of that, which I've mentioned on the show before, and it's making the rounds. So there'll be a link below for that to make that happen. And the other one is the pocket edition Prayer Book and Psalms from Jordanville, which I need reading glasses. It's come to that point. I need reading glasses because this is so close to exactly what I personally would like, and that's what this is kind of geared towards. Is like, you know, let's fantasize a little bit. Let's make pretend we have the wherewithal, the ability to somehow get a publisher or to publish ourselves the ideal prayer book and psalter combination. Now, of course, anyone that has come from a Protestant Episcopalian background can look to the Book of Common Prayer as kind of like the blueprint for that, because the Book of Common Prayer, for one thing, has been using the same translation of the Psalms since day one in the 1600s, and that is the Coverdale Psalms. These, by the way, corrected for the Septuagint, of course, also from Jordanville, which is the psalter that they included in this little fella here. Now, of course, I personally am a fan of the HTM. In a few weeks' time, we will have the St. Tikhon Psalter, which will go along with this. And yes, there is a pocket edition to complement their prayer book in the works. And so I figured, okay, like, based on what your preference for a prayer book is, where's my Jordanville prayer book? Hold on a second. Well, that only took forever. Okay, yeah, so the Jordanville. And just for argument's sake, I want to say something about the Old Rite prayer book too. This is the 2nd edition. I got the 3rd edition back there somewhere. But anyway, so let's say, and this is the point I made in the original review, pardon me, for this one and for their pocket psalter, is that if they did a full-size version of that, like they did the Jordanville prayer book and have been since time immemorial. So, like, in the Jordanville prayer book, you have stuff out of the services like Vespers, Matins, and the liturgy. You do not have that in the pocket prayer book. So, doing a full-size version of this would equate to about the size of the current Jordanville prayer book, and I think that would be fantastic. The second thing I would mention is that Orthodox Christian Prayers, okay, they're working on a psalter that is this size. Father Michael says it lives in his head currently, but when you think about it, just for context, it would probably be about this big. So you're looking at a prayer book that is maybe 1.5 inches thick, right? So, you know, where the cover is roughly as thick as, say, this Old Rite prayer book. Now, the Old Orthodox prayer book happens to be one of my favoriteest prayer books of all time. But the thing is, it's bilingual. You get the Old Church Slavonic and the English, which is great, but might I remind you all that the Old Rite Orologian, it's not bilingual. Okay, so I joked about Old Rite Light prayer book where it was just the English, and I was like, slap a psalter in it. They also use the HTM psalter. Like, wouldn't it be cool if and this is where the dream diverges in 2 different paths. on one hand, you know, a perfect bound print-on-demand type prayer book, one could conceivably put that book together, and through print-on-demand like Lulu, you could print them at, you know, at cost, no profit, so you're not infringing on anyone's copyrights. You're just literally just giving stuff away. Where you could put in the work and print one for yourself and have it. That would be cool. The other way, which, and this is the one where it's really just dreaming, is getting one of these publishers to actually make that prayer book. Now, in the case of the Jordanville, that's probably the most likely because they've already done it. All they'd have to do is reformat it. And I will mention, it's been 4.5 years since this channel's begun and since I did this review, and I'll say it, I've said it once and I'll say it again. This particular typeset is not the easiest on the eyes, guys. It's not terrible, but it's not the best. The typeset in the Jordanville itself is actually like the full-size version of that, very easily readable. And one of the things I truly love about the Jordanville, aside from the fact that it was one of the first prayer books I ever got, not this one, I have 2 others in the back, is that it's a larger print. I don't need reading glasses. I don't need to rub my eyes. Not so much with other prayer books, although the old Orthodox prayer book is a close second. Its typeset is chef's kiss. I know people love doing that. The St. Tikhon's, which is pretty much my go-to, it's getting there. And the same thing with the Psalter for Prayer. The typeset is the same as in the pocket edition of the prayer book. It's not the greatest for my eyes. I can't speak for anyone else. So let's take a look at the Anthologian for a second. Now, their typesetting, for the most part, pretty rock solid, right? Now, when they go ahead and do the text in traditional English, which everyone has been whinging about for years on end, go support that project. And then tossing the Psalter in there, I think is fantastic if that's the kind of resource you're looking for. And I would say that it's very important to have these things on hand because we don't know when the grid's going down, folks. I mean, let's be honest here. Things are kind of crazy out there. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we never know what's going to happen, but okay, all that aside. So what I'm looking for from you, my dear beloved audience, is your thoughts and ideas. Maybe we could do something like this. We could do a joint project together. Now, of course, because of copyright laws, whatever we come up with, or whatever I come up with, or whatever you come up with in your free time, you know, it's not like we can send it off to a printer and get something, you know, beautifully bound that we can, you know, sell to people. Unless, of course, we do crowdfund it and then make 0 profit on it whatsoever. You know, it would be a purely passion project where people would get it at cost, which means that we would also not be paid for the work put into it. But, you know, a print-on-demand book like the ones Father Andrew has done for our church here, you know, it's a thought. It could be a fun project, or we could just daydream about it and just sip our coffee and thank God that we have any of these to begin with. Oh, and back in the beginning I did mention that the Book of Common Prayer has been using the Coverdale Psalms since day one. Unfortunately, in the English-speaking Orthodox world, there's no shortage of psalm translations, so do with that what you will. Like I said, personally, I'm an HTM guy. The Russian church uses HTM. The Antiochian church uses HTM. Greek church used to use the HTM, as did the OCA for a little while. Of course, the OCA also used some of the Psalter for Prayer stuff in the last version of the Book of Needs that came out. Still waiting on that one too. Father Michael's a busy boy. Don't bother him. Yeah, so I want to hear your thoughts. I mean, it's fun to wax over these things, and yeah, that's part of the joy of this channel, is taking a look at all this stuff that we've done, and it's like, okay, what can we do with this? What would be fun? What would be spiritually profitable? How many less books can we carry with us? I don't mind carrying a prayer book and a psalter, but you know, if they were the same book, that'd be pretty cool. All right, Patches is insane, so I'm gonna go let her eat me some more. As you can see, she's a big fan of chewing on me. I'm gonna leave you to it. I know it's not much of an episode, but it's, you know, I sometimes I forget just how much fun it can be to like imagine like what could be, you know. So anyway, yeah, comment below, join us on our Discord server and continue the discussion there. And you know, who knows? You know, let's have some fun, huh? Let's have some fun. At any rate, continue to pray for cancer patients. Continue to supplicate the Mother of God, the Pontanessa, for the healing and comfort of all those that suffer from cancer, especially our good friend Grimdark. And continue, please, to pray for me. I desperately need your prayers. I will be continuing to pray for you because I love you, and I love everyone. And you really have two options in life. You can feed the ducks, and you can pray for the world. Thank you, Trisagian Games. So yeah. Anyway, okay. It's a beautiful Thursday out there. It's like 11:46. I'm drinking coffee. There's a nice breeze. You can probably hear the fan going. So I'm going to leave you to it. Thanks again for stopping by. I love you all to bits and pieces. And on behalf of Patches and myself, don't forget to go to church, say your prayers, and remember God. God bless you all.